know who has been bragging all over the campaign trail about how he's the one that overturned Roe v. Wade. But apparently, his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir.
Oh.
Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady.
When Sunny Host and Whoopi Goldberg team up, it's less of a roast and more of a controlled comedic demolition. With razor-sharp wit and fireproof sarcasm, they turned the so-called king of comebacks into a punchline museum. Trump's ego never stood a chance as the duo peeled back the orange layers of bluster, scandal, and reality TV delusion. What unfolded wasn't just a takedown. It was a masterclass in unapologetic truth wrapped in laughter. And they didn't even need a teleprompter to do it.
So as birth rates continue to decline in America, the White House is looking into offering $5,000 cash bonuses, expanded access to IVF, along with other incentives for women to have more babies.
Why?
And, okay. I am incredibly insulted by this because clearly they don't know how women's bodies work and they don't know what it costs to raise a child or just...
Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does...
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly, that's why I say...
Sunny Host and Whoopi Goldberg didn't walk into the political ring. They stormed in like a hurricane in heels, armed with sarcasm, legal degrees, and more receipts than a tax audit. The moment they set their sights on Donald Trump, the atmosphere changed. No intro, no warm-up, just straight into the fire. And not the kind you can spin on Truth Social.
And just so you know, he's charged Mr. Vance of removing improper ideology from the following places: African American History and Culture Museum, the American Art Museum, the American History Museum, the National Portrait Gallery, Natural History Museum, Natural Air and Space Museum, the National Zoo.
What's his problem with a zoo? Is it
he declared that he shouldn't have left the White House at the end of his term. I mean, I don't think we should have let him into the White House, but there he was. And he said, I don't mind if reporters are shot at. And the Democratic Party was very demonic. So you have the vice president offering hope, unity, while Trump threatens the press, sexually assaults a microphone, and...
Sunny took one look at Trump's recent photo op policy announcement and had the same expression you make when someone hands you a microwave burrito and calls it gourmet. She didn't need to say a word. The silence screamed, seriously, louder than a broken air horn. And then Whoopi, not one to pass up a roast, jumped in like a chef at a barbecue, flipping every one of Trump's bloated claims like overcooked burgers.
Just last week, Trump fired the heads of the Transportation Security Administration and Coast Guard, and he also eliminated all the members of a key aviation security advisory group. The Aviation Security Committee will technically continue to exist, but it won't have any members to carry out the work of examining safety issues at airlines. And
they went straight for the jugular, the budget proposal that resembled a toddler's work with crayons. Sunny shredded it like a Harvard Law Review article gone rogue. Whoopi simply called it what it looked like, an exercise in magical thinking where deficits disappear, billionaires become heroes, and infrastructure is fixed by retweeting it.
a fan of this man's. I don't like how he talks to us. I don't like how he talks to the nation. So I have not really had much to say until he started running for president. Then I could say everything I needed to say. My face said everything
That
else.
was a good side eye.
Didn't you say you disliked him from even before?
The press conference Trump held last week, Sonny said it had the same energy as a group project where no one read the material, but someone insisted on presenting. Whoopi couldn't stop laughing at how Trump paused for applause that never came, like waiting for a standing ovation in an empty elevator.
Critics are accusing you-know-who of trying to erase history and sanitize racism for an executive order threatening to pull funding from the Smithsonian. Unless it stops promoting what he is calling divisive, race-centered ideology, he has also put J.D. Vance in charge of purging the museum of anything that degrades shared American values or divides Americans based on race. No. Is this just an excuse to ignore historical facts?
And the moment Trump tried rebranding inflation as economic freedom, Sonny nearly choked on her espresso. Whoopi said, if economic freedom means paying $20 for eggs, then congratulations. America's free as ever. Then came the bold announcement that Trump was launching his new initiative, Project Patriot Prosperity. Sonny described it as 3 words that meant absolutely nothing, like naming your broken lawn mower success engine. Whoopi asked if it came with a decoder ring because apparently only Mar-a-Lago guests understood it.
One lie that CNN did not bring up is the $18 to $20 million black jobs that have been taken. Where are these black jobs, and what are the black jobs? Where do I apply?
Well, you know,
I would like to know. I would like to know if there is a special bank of jobs for black anchors and black federal prosecutors that I can apply for. So when
you have a job. No, but let me.
No, but when someone lies like that, how do I?
The parade of endorsements from fringe celebrities. Sonny pulled up one of them and asked if this was an influencer campaign or a political campaign. Whoopi couldn't believe people with fewer followers than her knitting account were somehow being touted as opinion leaders. Then there was the return of Trump University. Yes, that wall, the one that was supposed to be finished, paid for, and visible from space. Sonny casually pointed out that even Lego sets show more completion. Whoopi said the only thing that's been built is a mountain of excuses high enough to block Wi-Fi signals.
So you-know-who made a campaign stop on the Joe Rogan podcast Friday night. And with all the issues Americans are going to be voting on, you know where they started the interview? Take a look.
It was the episode of you when you were on The View. And I think it was 2015 or 2006, like when you were running for president.
Right.
Okay, let's stop there. There's a lot of fake news coming up, so we're going to clear some of it up as it happens. He was actually, in that clip, is 2011, 4 years before he announced.
As if it couldn't get more absurd, Trump's new speech on unity through strength was practically a stand-up routine without the punchlines. Sonny said it had the same sincerity as a chatbot trying to express emotion. Whoopi noted that even autocorrect would have rejected half the sentences for being structurally offensive. Then came the sudden promise to finally drain the swamp again. Sonny asked if he meant draining it into a bigger swamp. Whoopi wondered if he realized his now referring to a metaphorical swamp he personally expanded, commercialized, and turned into a members-only spa for the politically corrupt.
I admit I may not have spent as much time in a courtroom as you have.
That's a good one.
I was also recognized with a Special Achievement Award by the Department of Justice. You remember the Department of Justice, right? It's the agency that's been pursuing you for decades. And like Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, I've had a history of prosecuting sex offenders. So thank you for keeping people like us.
His newest cabinet picks, Sonny compared them to a casting call for a reality TV spin-off called America's Next Legal Liability. Whoopi said they look like characters in a dystopian sitcom written by someone who flunked history and ethics in the same semester. Something about a mega-branded dream journal. Let's not skip over the recent rally where Trump tried quoting the Constitution but accidentally mashed it up with song lyrics. Sonny raised an eyebrow and asked if he thought the Bill of Rights was a Spotify playlist. Whoopi said it was the first time she'd seen freedom of speech mixed with karaoke night.
But if he gets reelected, he will destroy.
Well, listen, if he gets reelected, we deserve what we get.
Yeah.
If we put him back in, if he gets back in, we deserve what we got, because it meant that we were not loud enough or strong enough, or that a constitution wasn't strong enough to keep this.
Trump's plan to reintroduce national loyalty pledges in schools. Sonny suggested teaching geography first so students know which country they're pledging to. Whoopi wanted to add civics, but said that might be too radical. Then there was the interview where Trump confidently listed world leaders who've supposedly endorsed him, except half were fictional characters or people who retired in the 90s. Sonny fact-checked in real time, shaking her head like a disappointed teacher. Whoopi asked if he was playing Risk and mistook game pieces for real countries.
As it turns out, I was filthy.
She was so filthy dirty, disgusting, half the place left. I said I'd never hire her again.
I was filthy, and stand on that fact. I have always been filthy. And you knew that when you hired me. I headlined, babe, at your casino, which I might have continued to play had you not run it in.
Trump's recent executive order to investigate biased food labeling. Sonny asked how this even made it past the idea phase. Whoopi said the only bias she sees is in the calories on a Trump steak box. Then there was his announcement to build freedom zones, special districts with minimal regulation and maximum patriotism. Sonny compared it to Disneyland for conspiracy theorists. Whoopi just asked if the rides include escape from responsibility and the carousel of excuses. And don't get started on Trump's media platform relaunch. Sonny said it crashed faster than a Windows 95 startup. Whoopi tried logging in and was greeted by a screen asking for a donation before it showed content.
I want to say to all those people who don't believe that Americans actually got out and voted, let me say this to you. When you know who was elected 4 years ago, you know, Hillary Clinton didn't say, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right, stop the count. She didn't say, this isn't right, I'm not going for it. She didn't say any of that. So all of...
Isn't this just a distraction from the fact that he's destroying the economy?
Yes, that's why I said, could you just fix the egg
it's another
thing
card,
first?
as they call it.
You know, it's
he's
like...
ruining everything, so look at this, not this.
Yeah, well, look at this, the egg.
Sonny Host and Whoopi Goldberg weren't just roasting. They were dismantling Trump's greatest hits one by one. They dug into Trump's sudden embrace of climate change reform. Sonny asked if this was the same man who once said windmills cause cancer. Whoopi replied, next, he'll tell us the sun is liberal propaganda. Their sarcasm practically sizzled. Every misstep, every gaffe, every brazen contradiction, they slow-cooked him over a bonfire built from bankrupt casinos, broken promises, and bronze spray tan fumes. The roast may have ended, but the punchlines write themselves.